Praise God, praise God, praise God. This morning, I just want to have a little bit of conversation with ourselves. Hebrews 9:27a says, "It is appointed unto man once to die, after death, judgment." If we fall dead right now, are we ready to face judgment? Because nobody knows when they're gonna die. Anybody can die anytime. Death doesn't come knocking to give you a notice ahead of time before you die. You could literally just fall dead. Are we ready to face judgment? Because it's inevitable. It's gonna happen. Once you die, you need to be judged. Bible says everyone must appear before the judgment seat of Christ. So are we ready to appear before the judgment seat of Christ? Because it's gonna happen sooner or later. So we have to be people who are always ready, because we don't know when it's gonna be our last day on earth. So we have always to be ready to face judgment. And it's only two places. You're either going to heaven or you're going to hell. And life does not end when you die. Life actually begins after you die, right? Because man is a living soul and souls don't die. The body's gonna die, this flesh is gonna die, but the soul is not gonna die. The soul is gonna go before Christ to account for everything it did whilst on earth. And that's where you face judgment. So you're either going to paradise or you're going to hell. And as much as this is a hard subject, it's the reality, right? It's gonna happen. We don't have a choice. So whether we believe in God or we don't believe in God, it doesn't change anything. God is still God, whether we believe or not. He's still gonna judge us whether we believe or not. Because as much as we think we have authority and we have the free will on this earth to do as we please, after we die, that's when we know we didn't own ourselves. That's when reality sets in and we know we were never free. That our lives did not belong to us as we think it did, right? That's when we realize life was not that easy. It wasn't just live, do whatever you want to do, and once you die, that's it. No, once you die, that's the beginning of eternity. And so no matter how long we live on earth, 100 years to 1,000 years, it doesn't matter. One day, the one who gave you the soul, the one who breathed the life into us, he's gonna take back his life. And the soul, which is the inner being, is gonna go face judgment. And it's eternity. So let us begin to think about eternity. Whether we're young, whether we're old, eternity is what's really important, because we're definitely gonna leave this earth and we're going somewhere. And eternity is forever. Forever and ever and ever. So imagine living in paradise with all the saints and having a good life eternally, forever, or going to hell and being in eternal torment and damnation with nobody to rescue you. Nobody. If we fall into the hands of God, nobody can rescue us. If I fall into the hands of a man, God can rescue me. But if I fall into the hands of God, who's going to rescue me? If God had something in his hands, nobody's able to take away from him unless he releases it. So if we fall on the judgment side of God, there's no rescue. And this is what humans have to constantly think about. This life we live doesn't belong to us. So let's not just live our lives anyhow. Let's remember we have an account to render. Because this life God has given us, He's watching us. And we're living as we will and as we wish. But after we die, that's when we realize, oh no, my life didn't even belong to me. Because how we live now determines where we live eternally. How? Basically, literally, how we live eternally. How we're living now is going to tell God where to make us live eternally. Because we're actually writing our own script. We're telling God where we want to spend eternity. And it's not ending when we die. Our life begins after we die. This is a food for thought. Let's think about this. Because as much as we don't want to talk about this, it's inevitable. It's going to happen. Whether we like it or not. A lot of people are dying. Every day. Thousands, millions of people are dying. All these people who died through COVID, I keep thinking, like, where did they go? Where are they? Young people died. Old people died. Children died. A lot of people died. Where did they go? Is it that simple? Do we just live and then we die and that's it? No, that's not it. That's definitely not it. And if we don't recognize this till we die, then it's a waste. We will be the most pathetic people ever. Bible says a stillbirth child is even better than somebody like that. Because then why did you come to the earth? If you're going to be damned later, you know? So let's understand that we have a God that's above us, that expects us to live according to His ways and His statutes. And He expects us to do His will, because everything we're doing now, He sees, He's watching, His judgments are just. There's no partiality with God, because He knows our thoughts, right? He knows what we're going to do tomorrow, today. So if He condemns us, we really deserve it. And if He says, come, faithful servant, I think His grace was sufficient for us, you know? So this is a little food for thought. As we live and do what we want to do, we should just have this thought in mind that we're going to render accounts. That what we're doing now is going to tell God where we spend eternity. It's heaven or hell. Nothing in between. Don't get it twisted. There's nothing in between. There's only two places. Heaven or hell. It's your choice. Have a blessed day. God bless.